Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Movies and Beyond. This is our daily news video, and today I'm with Kyle. Kyle, how we doing?
I'm good, yeah. My eye's still pretty fucky, but other than that, yeah, doing good.
Yeah, well, we've got some great stories today. Uh, a lot of interesting stories, and let's just jump into them. Kyle, if you go back to remembering the very first video we did, which is a private video, so you won't be able to see it, we talked about the rumoured cast for the Fantastic Four and who we thought was going to be in it. Who people were speculating were going to be in it, and leaked rumours and all stuff like that. But the person who was picked to play Sue Storm was Margot Robbie, and at the time, I still do think that was probably the perfect pick for Margot Robbie to be Sue Storm in the Fantastic Four. But now, if you believe the rumours and the leaks, Margot Robbie has backed out of the Fantastic Four, and the role of Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, is going to be going to Vanessa Kirby. Now, she was in Hobbs and Shaw. She played Shaw's sister and like the love interest for The Rock in that film. So, Kyle, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on losing Margot Robbie as Sue Storm? And what do you think about Vanessa Kirby possibly taking up the role?
Uh, I mean, it's still just a rumor at the end of the day. I think Margot Robbie would have been great as Sue Storm. I don't know much about um, Vanessa Kirby, other than when I just only seen her in Hobbs and Shaw, and to be honest, I don't really remember her. So, uh, you know, I would have preferred Margot Robbie any day. She's awesome in all the movies that I've seen her in, Harley Quinn, and she was great in Wolf of Wall Street. Um, just yeah, I would have preferred her over that.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to like awards and stuff like that, um, Margot Robbie is a two-time Oscar-nominated actress, so she has that in her favour. But apparently, Vanessa Kirby was the first pick from Matt Shackman, the director, obviously the director of One Division, and he's going to be moving on to direct the Fantastic Four. Apparently, Vanessa Kirby's the first pick for him, so she's obviously she's tested and stuff like that for the role. So does this put a bit more confidence in it for you that she was the first pick, or no? Would you have still preferred Margot Robbie?
Uh, I I don't doubt obviously who they choose to be Sue Storm. I just me personally it would have been cool to have Margot Robbie as Sue Storm. Do you know what I mean? In a perfect world, we'd all have everyone as everyone playing who we want, but we don't, and sometimes it's for the better. So I'm just kind of like I said, it's just a rumor, so I'm not gonna
Yeah,
you know I'm not really gonna think too much on it. But yeah, we'll just see who they actually pick.
yeah, no, it's I'm happy with either of these choices. Um, Obviously, I prefer Margot Robbie because she's two-time Oscar nominated. Uh, that clearly don't mean although it don't mean that Margot's a better actor than what is going on with my display back there. Oh well, light keeps going on and off. I'll have to look at that later. Might need some new lights for it. It's not saying that Margot's a better actor or anything like that. I think Vanessa's great in what I've seen her in. Obviously, she was in Mission Impossible. What's the Rogue Nation number five? No, she went in Rogue Nation. She was in Fallout, which is number six. Thought she was good in that, and she's going to be in the upcoming Dead Reckoning Part One as well. So I think she's great. I think these are going to be great picks. That detail behind me is really annoying me, flashing. But who cares? Let's just get on with the news. So Kyle, our next story, something we hold very close to our hearts. Daredevil. Uh, the production for Daredevil has been shut down indefinitely. This is due to the writers' strike, and the WGA constantly targeting this production and protesting where they're filming. So they've just Disney has just stopped production, shut down production right away, and said, right, we're just gonna keep filming this now when the strike's over. So do you think Disney made the right call here, shutting down production?
Um, as a fan, it just means we probably might have to wait a little bit longer for it. Um, so I'm kind of like, but at the end of the day, if they gotta do it, they gotta do it. It's still gonna come out. It's not like it's been cancelled or anything like that. I can handle a couple of delays here and there. It's fine. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Then that's it as well. Can it make its early 2024 release date if they're shutting down production now? Do you think that's possible?
Uh, I don't know. I don't think so. No, because it's obviously it's a show. It's a superhero based show. They've got like CGI and things like that to do still. So yeah, like I know they can do the CGI before they even shoot sometimes, like certain things, but um, they can't. Obviously, they can't do like they could probably do about 10% of the CGI before they do it. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe like certain things they have to make, like obviously the character models when they CGI them. That's probably all they can do. The rest of the CGI is going to have to be done when they've got the actual
Yeah.
film to put it on,
Well,
because obviously they've got color correction, lighting, things like that.
yeah. Now, but going back to that, I don't think Daredevil's going to be too CGI heavy. I think a lot of it's going to be in camera. But you know, as of making the right call of postponing this, yeah, because they'd be going to set day in and day out, not knowing if they're going to be able to shoot that day, not knowing where people are going to be protesting. So I think it's just look, let's just put it behind us because we're going to end up spending more money in the long run bringing all these people out here to then say sorry guys, you got to go on, but you still got to pay these people anyway to do that. Obviously, this breaks my heart. Daredevil is my favourite show. So yeah, but I really hope this writer strike's resolved soon, so we can start getting projects that we like because the stuff that breathes the life into this, the stuff we love so much, is the writers, and they need to be fairly compensated. And it's just my luck that they are targeting my favourite character. Uh,
I think it's everything, to be honest.
yeah,
It's everywhere. It's affecting everyone everywhere. Um, so it's just something, like you said, it does need to be resolved quick. Unfortunately, it's not. It is taking its time. But as soon as it's resolved, I'm guessing it's we can everything can sort of go back to normal in a sense.
yeah, um, yeah, and
Hopefully.
also adding on to this as well, Penguin has shut down production because of the same reasons. So yeah, we are living in hard times. Oh no, we won't get our superhero shows. Life is so hard. Anyway, Kyle, speaking of superhero shows, DC superhero shows, Peacemaker. It's official. Season 2 is happening. Uh, James Gunn was recently on the Michael Rosenbaum podcast, and he's been asked a lot of questions. We've got a few things on today's show that have come from that podcast. Yeah, James Gunn says he will be jumping straight into Peacemaker season 2 as soon as he's done with Superman Legacy. What do you think that's a wise idea? He's a studio head now. Do you think he's putting too much pressure on his shoulders, or do you think he can handle it as James Gunn?
I think it'll be fine because at the end of the day, as much as I love Peacemaker, for him it was just a side project kind of thing. It was just something that sprung to mind, obviously during the pandemic. So with the second season, I don't think he has to focus too much on it. Like I can imagine that when he's not doing any of the DCU, working on DCU, whenever he has free time on his hands, 'cause at the end of the day, he's a writer. He likes to write for fun. So he's probably just going to be doing that mainly in his free time kind of thing. Um, so I don't think it'll take any of the focus off of the DCU that he's building. I just think it's like something in his free time kind of thing. That's not to say it's going to be bad or anything. Like, he did the first one in his free time. So yeah, no, I think it'll run fine.
Yeah. You know, I absolutely loved the first season of Peacemaker. That year, Peacemaker would have probably been the best show on TV if the Boys season 3 didn't come out. If the Boys season 3 didn't come out, so that just shows you how good the show is. As in regards to him taking on too much, no, I think he's got a plan for this. And at the end of the day, now it's his schedule. He makes his schedule. So if he can make the time to do it, I don't see why not. For me, more Peacemaker, that's a great thing. One of the best shows of 2022. Yeah, it was the Suicide Squad that came out in 2021. But here's another thing. Do you think it'll be too long of a wait? Because Superman Legacy is coming out in 2025. They're going to be shooting that apparently at the beginning of next year. Do you think we'd have waited too long for a season of Peacemaker? Do you think people would have forgotten? Or do you think people will be ready for it when it comes around?
It would have been a very long time, but at the end of the day, it's you know, Peacemaker is just one of those things. It's just a nice treat. It's just an unexpected treat. So when season two rolls around, I feel like it'll feel just the same way as it did with the first one. It's like a nice, just a nice little surprise that just kind of sort of came out of the blue. It's here. It's there. I don't think there's much. Like I'm excited for season two, but I don't think it's like it's one of those things where it's like I can't wait, I can't wait, I can't wait. It's just I'll watch it when it's ready, kind of thing.
Yeah. Now, do you think Peacemaker, clearly if he's doing it after Superman, do you think he's going to have a big part in the new DC universe that he's building? Like, do you think he's going to be part of that universe?
Uh, Potentially. I don't really know how they're gonna do it. I just know. I think obviously it'll be John Cena again.
Well, yeah,
Maybe
let's be honest, there is no Peacemaker without John Cena. That's...
yeah. And I'll say this: if they do choose to stick in the same universe, that's fine. I'm fair. I'm all game for it. I don't really care. Peacemaker isn't really focusing on that type of thing. But if they put it in the new universe, then yeah, I feel like it'll stay in the old universe, um, just so it's a little less confusing. But in this day and age, when they put something in, when they start doing universal time travel stuff, the general audience kind of sort of understands it, so I don't think it's that big of an issue. Whichever way they go, whether they keep it in the old universe, the Snyder universe, or they bring it to his new universe.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to be in the new universe. I think they're going to try get everything under the same umbrella, obviously apart from the Elseworld stuff like Matt Reeves' Batman and the Joker films. But
Yeah, do you know what? I think just thinking about it, then I think it would be better if it was in the new universe. That way, then he could play around with some more of the characters. Because at the end of the first Peacemaker season, you had the Justice League show up at the end just for a little, just as a little joke, and that was fucking hilarious when they showed up. And he's like, "You're fucking late, you dickheads."
yeah,
It's like, so if it was in the new universe, obviously James Gunn's in charge. He could do stuff like that. He could make little jokes, with stuff like that. I don't think it'll have any significant impact on the universe itself. But who knows? I mean, maybe Peacemaker's going to be like the head of DC. He's going to be like the equivalent to Iron Man. I mean, we don't know. We just don't know. But
well, I look at it this way. The MCU is soon going to have its R-rated hero off doing its own thing in Deadpool. DC probably needs someone that can compete with that, and who better than Peacemaker?
mhm.
So yeah. Anyway, sticking with DC and James Gunn, your most anticipated film of this year, Kyle, Blue Beetle. Now we talked a little bit about this the other day on our
Did you say
Flash.
my most
Yeah,
anticipated?
yeah, yeah. On our
Mm.
Flash predictions video, I've had to take it down because me, like an idiot, didn't record my audio when I set the thing up. So yeah, but we talked a little bit about this the other day. James Gunn has said that Blue Beetle, he says he's our first DCU character, but Superman Legacy is the first film. So what does that say to you? That yeah, he's our first character, but Superman Legacy is the first DCU film.
Um, maybe it could be uh, Blue Beetle's still stuck in the old universe, and when they introduce him later on in a later DCU project, it'll be the same Blue Beetle, but not, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so here's what I take from it. They are going to stick with, I believe his name is Zolo Madaroon, something like. Sorry for butchering the name. I think they're going to stick with Zolo as the character of Blue Beetle. Um, I do think when we get round to seeing him in the DC universe, which I do think will probably be in Booster Gold, because them two are very, them two just go together so well. Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. That I do think it will be played by the same actor. Maybe he'll even have the same suit. Maybe he'll even have the same, sort of story that happened to him in that film, but it won't be that version. This film is taking place in the old DC universe, but some things will carry over from it. So, does that get your excitement up for Blue Beetle a bit more? Obviously, James Gunn likes it. He's incorporating things from Blue Beetle into his new universe, so that's got to be a good sign. What do you think?
Uh, I don't. I'm I'm gonna watch the film. I was like I said, I was excited for the film. Um, before the first trailer even came out, I was excited to see Blue Beetle. It was just for me, it was that first trailer when it dropped, and I just thought, I kind of don't like the look of this actually. The trailer kind of put me off. It was just something about it. It was just I wasn't really feeling it. Um, so yeah, that I might I still kind of feel the same way. To be honest, it's one of those things where I kind of have to see the film and then I'll really sort of judge it, and then I'll take in James Gunn's words of what he said. Because right now, him saying that, I can't really agree or disagree with him. I have faith in him and what he says, but until I see the movie myself, I'll still be a bit hesitant.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. James Gunn seems to have a bit of faith in Blue Beetle. To me, it shows that he really likes the performance in it. So if he really wants to bring the character, like I say, it's his say at the end of the day, because he's the creative head of DC. So yeah, I think it bodes well for Blue Beetle. At the end of the day, if we walk out of Blue Beetle and go, yeah, the story was all right, but the thing that's most important is character. And if you can get behind the character, then that makes the other things fall in line a bit easier. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Blue Beetle.
You're
With his
missing one thing there. You're missing one thing there.
go on.
It's not just character. It's if the movie makes money as well.
Yeah, but I don't think there's going to be anything Blue Beetle titled yet in the new DC universe. I think he's going to be very much a side character moving forward. So he will appear in things,
Yeah,
but
no, no. I just mean like it obviously it does depend on the character and stuff and his significance in the story, but realistically it also depends on if the movie makes money, and if the movie doesn't make money, then it
oh
shows
yeah.
that
But
not a
speaking
lot of
of like
people are interested.
for my enjoyment, like if he
Oh yeah, yeah,
plays the character well, then I'm going to enjoy the film a lot more. That.
yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, from Alien Scarabs to Alien, we're getting a new Alien film, Kyle, in the summer of 2024, in August, I believe, from Fede Alvarez. So on a distant colony, the group finds himself, apparently some teenagers, in a fight for their lives with the titular alien, also known as the Xenomorph. Uh, so this seems to be like the taking Alien back to its roots. Uh, just a straight up horror film. Obviously, they got Fede Alvarez involved. He did things like the Evil Dead remake, which I haven't seen, but it's quite well received from people who enjoy Evil Dead. The thing that gets me excited is he did Don't Breathe 1 and 2. I haven't seen 2, but I've seen the first one. And if you take the premise of Don't Breathe and apply it to an alien film, that really gets me excited. What are your thoughts on this?
I think you'll be quite surprised. I love the Alien movies. I love the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love. I did, I think it's one of those things. Because I know you said you was a massive fan of the Indiana Jones franchise, which was a bit, a bit of a surprise. For me, it's the Alien franchise. That's my sort of like secret um, sort of love for a franchise. So I'm I'll say this. I'm looking forward kind of to it, but for me, the Alien franchise is kind of dead now. Just because of what they did with the Prometheus and obviously Covenant, Alien Covenant. So from what I've gathered of the story, from what I've heard, is Prometheus was supposed to be like this sort of a start to like a trilogy, but it was supposed to be very different from the Alien films. But at the end of the day, it was still a prequel. So I was really excited for that, and I watched the first Prometheus film, and I was one of the very many few, and I loved it. It doesn't really connect it well, but it's not trying to. It's trying to be like I feel like the way they try to do it is at the end of the trilogy of the like when they what they planned out. You would have seen the xenomorph. That's when you would have
Yeah.
seen the real xenomorph. So obviously that was it wasn't received very well with Alien fans and a lot of people. And then they made Alien Covenant. I like the movie. I think it's okay. It's just for the story, it doesn't. It kind of just tries to backtrack everything it did in a way. It tries to repeat some things, and it's a bit of a mess. I can't lie.
You've got a funny Alien Covenant story, actually, haven't you?
Uh, I
Now's the
do, I
time.
do.
Now's the time.
Uh,
Share it with the world, Kyle.
I might do one day. I might do one day.
No,
Um,
you share it right now.
I may do one day. But the the thing is, there was supposed to be a third one, and Alien Covenant leaves on a massive cliffhanger, and it's like, how does that add up to the first Alien film? And it just,
Yeah.
yeah, it annoys me how it doesn't make sense. And now obviously they're doing this new film, and they're saying, oh, it's going back to its roots. It's why it doesn't need to. It's
Well,
Alien One is great.
look at I think what they've learned from here is you know, Prey. Look at what an amazing film Prey is, and it is just stripped. It's an even more stripped down version of the original Predator. It's simple,
Mm.
it works, and it's I think Disney realised that they made a mistake of not putting that film in theatres. Now, do I think it would have made a lot of money? No, but it could have made them some, especially when the positive word of mouth got out there. So yeah, this is definitely having a theatrical release. I think they've realised now it's let's not try and overcomplicate these films for what they are, because the first Alien film's a slasher. That's what it is. It's not an action film. It's a slasher, a horror slasher film. So if they can get back to that, I really feel like this film is going to do. I'm not saying it's going to make amazing numbers, but if it's been done for a relatively low budget, then I can see Disney, the Fox side of Disney, start to have small successes with these old franchises that they can revive.
I think it could be successful. It could be a really good film. It probably could be one of the best ones. It's just I'm still a little hurt from how they sort of planned out this trilogy. And like I said, I love the first Prometheus. I think it's great. And then they've just kind of like halfway through it, they've changed story and cancelled. It's kind of like what they did with the Star Wars movies. They just change
Yeah.
because people don't react to it well.
Well,
And
I tell you what, aren't you glad you aren't a fan of the Dark Universe? Because you would have watched
uh,
The Mummy and you would have been like, oh boy, I can't wait for the next one.
to be fair though, I've heard the Mummy's not that great, so
Oh, I know.
I
I
don't think
know.
I would have. But yeah, no, that's what I mean. Thing is though, Prometheus is a good movie. Like it's one of those films like I feel like people are gonna go back and watch and be like, you know what, this is actually a pretty good film if you just don't take it as an alien film, just take it as it is, and then it is supposed to be like a really different prequel to the Alien films. It was trying to be
Yeah.
different but tie in.
I really enjoy Michael Fassbender in that film.
I enjoy him in both of the films,
Yeah.
and like I said, the story, he just in Covenant, it it doesn't it ends on such a big cliffhanger, and it's like, well, what now? Because we're not getting a sequel to this. I mean, it's been a fair amount of years now since the last one, and we've
Was
not had
it
any.
2017, was it, that Covenant
I
came out?
think it was, yeah.
Yeah.
And we've not had any update or anything about that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we've had more to go off of with the Tron films. Obviously, they released Tron Legacy, and there was
Yeah.
loads of like buzz and teasers and stuff, and leaks
Anyway,
about
I'm,
the
I'm gonna
second one.
I'm gonna say this. Fuck your Prometheus trilogy, mate. I wanted Neil Blomkamp's original, redo of Alien 3. That was going to be a direct sequel to the first two films. But he didn't get to do that after Ridley Scott seeing, is the director of District 9. Ridley Scott, I'm pretty sure he watched, was it Elysium and Chappie. And then he told the studio he didn't want Neil Blomkamp to have anything to do with the Alien franchise. But he released all his concept art and all the stuff like that, and it looked fucking great. So that's the Alien film I'm sad I didn't see.
Yeah, I feel like that movie would have been great because it would have been like the first Alien film is a slasher like you say, and then the second one's more like a
Action, yeah,
action, and then this third one would have been somewhere else as well, so it
yeah,
would have been like a nice little trilogy. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, still for me, I'm still hurt about Prometheus. This film, obviously, with the director who's involved, it could turn out really really well. I hope it turns out really really well.
Well, I'm
I,
looking at
I
I'm
want to go
looking at
see it.
Don't Breathe. I'm looking at Don't Breathe here and going, oh my god, just make Don't Breathe with aliens, and you've got a
Yeah.
perfect film. Maybe not add the stuff at the end with the pregnancy stuff. Or maybe do it's an alien film. They've done that shit before.
I mean, that's kind of what it's. I mean, that's
Yeah,
what Prometheus is kind of all about. But yeah,
yeah. Face huggers, face impregnators. Let's not call them that. It's a bit
I
weird.
mean, it's biological warfare, in a sense,
Yeah.
because they genetically, Fassbender's character he genetically perfected them.
Mate, I tell you what is biological warfare when you fucking fart. You didn't sound too impressed with that.
Because we both know that yours are worse.
Oh, fucking way worse. So, anyway, Kyle, on a scale of, 1 to 10, aliens going back to its original roots, this is probably because of Prey. Are you excited for this new Alien film that we're going to be getting next year?
I'm looking forward to it. I wouldn't say I'm excited just yet. Like I said, them saying, "Oh, it's going back to its roots." That's kind of what Alien Covenant tried to do, and it just failed.
Yeah,
Um, but with this, obviously, it's on a clean slate. It's a new story. It's new characters. It's not going to be anything tied to the Prometheus films or anything like that. So yeah, it could turn out really well. I'm looking
yeah.
forward to it. I wouldn't say I'm excited. I'm looking forward.
So, yeah, right, that's going to do it for the show today then. We've got a Flash review up on the channel. Go check that out. Tomorrow we're going to have a Flash spoiler discussion out on the channel. So we're going to get into all the nitty gritty details, really dive in there, stuff about the Flash. Obviously we're catching up on a lot of news from yesterday because we was out late, so we wasn't able to do a video. Sorry for the flashy detolf, because I don't know what's going on there. I'm going to go sort that out now after this video. So Kyle, what's your favourite story from the day then? What's intrigued you the most?
Um, well, the thing that probably upset me the most is probably the Daredevil one.
Absolutely. That ripped my soul out.
The um, for me, I'd say it's probably out of self-interest, it's probably the Alien movie because I didn't know anything about that. The last thing I heard about the Alien franchise is they were doing some weird show or YouTube show or something like that. So, to know that we're getting, there's a movie in the pipeline and coming out very
It's,
soon.
yeah, done as well. Shot.
Yeah, it's something
So,
to look forward to. Then it's a nice surprise.
yeah, I didn't even know there was an Alien film coming out until I read the article today. So, yeah, nice surprise for me as well. But, yeah, that's going to do it, guys. This has been our 8th episode of Movie News, I believe. So we're going to get one out for you tomorrow as well. Maybe there's some interesting news. Tomorrow I'm definitely, I think the projections should be out for the Flash's box office, so we're going to talk about that a bit, what it means for, Andy Muschietti in the film. So yeah, I've been Kyle. No, I've not been Kyle. Oh God, I'm so fucking glad I'm not Kyle. I've been Callum. That's been Kyle. Like, subscribe, share, show us to your mother, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.